everybody, my name's Rosie and welcome to my channel. Welcome to day 3 of my declutter series. If you haven't been here before, basically I've spent untold amount of time, like 3 days amount of time, decluttering all of my makeup, and this is day 3. If you want to see the other 2, I will link them down below. But today we are decluttering my face powders and my bronzers. If you're new here, I do have 2 little pugs and you'll probably hear them snoring throughout the video. Just want to let you guys know about that. But enough talking, let's get into it. Okay, so here we have all of my powders. There's not too many. So let's get going. So when it comes to powders, I do know what I like most of the time. I do think I'm going to be able to declutter quite a few of these. So let's start off with pressed powders. I have 2 of these Maybelline Fit Me powders. These are supposed to be matte and poreless. I've got it in 110 and 102. I like these. I have panned both of them. I'm just now finishing off the edges. So I'm going to keep those and get to the ends of them. Pretty much there now. But yeah, I don't mind these powders. They work pretty well. These are the type of powders that I like to take with me for powdering up rather than a loose powder, just to re-mattify my skin. So I'm going to be keeping them. Next up is this 17 Miracle Matte Press Powder. I used to love this powder. You can't get it anymore. I used to have loads of them. I'm going to get rid of this one. It can just go in the bin. It was a great powder, but I never reach for it anymore, and it's God knows how old. So yeah, that one's gonna go, but it was a fantastic powder all the same, and if they still did it, I'd probably still buy it. Next up is this Milani Prep Set and Glow Translucent Face Powder. Now this is old. I've had this for ages. I never really reach for it anymore. It's, yeah, not the greatest powder in the world. I'm gonna get rid of that. I just won't use it, and there's no point of keeping it anymore. Because the writing's rubbed off, I forgot this was even Milani. Like, I actually thought this was like a cheap like New Look brand or something. But yeah, not fussed. I'm gonna get rid of that one. Next up, I have 3 of these Milani face powders. I went through a stage where I really liked using these, as you can tell. I still like it, but it's just too dark for me. This is a natural 04. I'll keep it and use it in the summer. As you can see, I did get a good amount of use out of it, but at the minute it's just too dark. But it is a good powder, again, to keep in your bag and just matte yourself down as the day goes on. I have another one of those in 04, which I've used a load of as well. I'll keep that and get use out of it. I have a brand new one in 04. I'm going to pass this one along. I've got the other 2. There's no point of keeping a 3rd one, especially as it is that little bit too dark for me. But again, it is a powder that I really like, so I'm going to send that to a good home. Next up, we have this Fenty powder. Now, I love the packaging of this. I think the packaging is really nice. It's in the shade Universal, and it's a translucent powder. For the price, I wouldn't recommend this. I have used it. I think I use it more because it is expensive, but I hit pan really quickly, and so I would say there's actually not that much product in it for what you're paying. So I want to use it up. I'm not going to get rid of it, but I wouldn't buy it again. I don't reach for it all that often. Hopefully this will make me reach for it more, but again, it's a good sort of powder if you need to take it in your makeup bag when you're out and about. Okay, next up I have the Coty Airspun powder. I've had this forever. Like, if I thought powders went off, I would have said this has gone off, but I think powders are fine. I love the smell of this. It smells like old ladies. It comes with this puff. I don't reach for it loads anymore, but I am still going to keep it because it is one of those powders that every now and then you do pick up, take back out. Oh, the smell of that's just hit me. I reckon I bought this very tub like 5 years ago. And now all of a sudden everybody absolutely loves this stuff, but it is a really good translucent powder. So if you don't want to spend loads of money, you can get this, and you can get it on Amazon as well. I would recommend it, and I'm going to keep that one. Next up, I have this Revolution translucent powder, and I'm going to get rid of this one. It's just one that I never reach for. I don't think it's that good. I do feel like it has a bit of, like, it sits on my skin and gives a bit of a white cast. It's just out of all the other translucent powders I've got, I never reach for it, so I'm going to pass that one along. Same with this Effect powder, I'm going to pass this along as well. I never really use it, it's quite messy. Yeah, I don't have much to say about it. I got it in a subscription box. Yeah, it's just nothing that I really want anymore, so I'm going to pass that along as well. Next up is this Flower Beauty powder. I bought this not long ago. I love the idea of their brand. I've used it a bit, but I don't reach for it that often. I'm going to keep it and see if I can get any more use out of it. And if I don't find myself reaching for it over the next 6 months, then I'll know to get rid of it. Because I just can't really remember if I liked it or not. Next up is this Banana setting powder. I don't know what the brand is. Is that the brand? PFB? I don't know. I got this in a subscription box. I never reach for it. I'm gonna pass it along as well. It's too deep for me. I won't get use out of it, but hopefully somebody else will. Okay, moving on to the good stuff. So I have this mini of KVD powder. I've only used this twice, and so far I really like it. I got gifted this by one of my subscribers, Claire. She kindly sent it to me, and I really enjoy it so far, so I'm excited to continue using that and see how I find it. Next up is this Nakia Joy Cosmetics. This is called the Velvet Finishing Powder. I love this powder. This is one of the best powders I have ever used. It's not easy to get in the UK, but if you can get it, oh my god, I guarantee you'll love it. It is just, first of all, it smells lovely. And it's just such a finely milled powder. It feels so nice on the skin. It mattifies lovely, but it doesn't cake up. It works with most of my foundations and concealers. I don't get that cakiness when I use it. I don't get any flashback. It doesn't leave a white cast on my face. It feels like you've got nothing on. I just love this powder. I couldn't recommend it anymore. It's one of my favourites, and because it is so hard to get in the UK, I'm really careful of when I use it. Like, I only use it when I'm really loving my makeup and like my base is looking great. But if I think my makeup's going to be a flop, or it's not a special occasion, not that we're really having any special occasions now, then I won't use it. But if it is a special occasion, or I'm feeling my makeup of how it's going and I'm like, yes, then I put this one on. But yeah, in fact, everything that I've tried from her, which you'll see a couple more of her bits in my other declutters, I really like it. Couldn't recommend them anymore. Next up, I have the Fenty powder. This is in Butter, and I really enjoy this powder. I've got nothing negative to say about it. First of all, the packaging. Like, how beautiful is this packaging? I messed up. I've lost the little plastic stopper that goes over here, so I keep making a mess with it, but it was really handy when I had the plastic stopper that went over the top. Again, this is such a nice powder. It's definitely worth the price. You get so much product in here that you're never going to run out. It's going to last you for the longest time. Okay, next up, the Huda powder. Again, I absolutely love this powder. It works fantastically. I have mine in Pound Cake. Again, with all of Huda products, some people complain about the smell. It doesn't bother me. It has this stopper, but this net, which at first I couldn't figure out how to use this. I was like, how do I get the powder out? I was turning it upside down, shaking it, and then I realised that actually it's so clever. Like, as you push your brush into the net, the brush picks up just the right amount of powder, so you're not having any waste and not too much comes off onto the brush. It feels lovely. It's really nicely finely milled. One of my absolute favourites. Again, it's going to last you a long time. I love this powder. Last but absolutely no means least is the Laura Mercier translucent powder. There is a reason everybody loves this powder. I'm obsessed with it. This is probably my third one, maybe even fourth. I've been using it for a few years now. I just love this powder, and I think about it every time I use it, and I can never really pinpoint what it is that I love so much about it in the comparison. Like, it does the same as the others do. Like, it doesn't cake up. It goes well with most of my foundations. It feels really finely milled, soft on the skin, applies nicely with whatever method I'm applying it with. But it does all of those things, and it does all of those things just that little bit better than all of the other powders that I've just mentioned. I absolutely love this powder, and I would really like to try out some of the other shades. I'd like to try out the glow one, but I will forever continue to repurchase this. It's no doubt my favourite powder and the one I reach for the most. Okay, so in total we've got 18 powders. I'm going to keep 12 and I'm getting rid of 6. I don't think that's that bad. Like, these 4 here are my absolute favourites. They're my ride and die. I will probably always have these ones in my collection, and I could, quite frankly, probably, if I wasn't greedy, get rid of these and just keep these 4 in my collection. However, there's no point of wasting money. Nobody is certainly going to want either of these because they've hit pan, that's hit pan, so I want to be able to finish that off. I want to try these 2 more, and this is just one that I've had forever and want to continue to use every now and then, because I do use it every now and then. And these are the ones that I'm getting rid of. Okay, next up, bronzers. Here are all my bronzers, and again, not too many. I couldn't figure out whether I should put my palettes with blush, highlight and bronzer in this, or in the blush, or in the highlight. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep that with my palette declutter. So when I declutter my eyeshadow palettes, I'll put my face palettes in there as well, including like highlighter palettes and stuff maybe. I think, I'm not sure, but anyway. This is the bronzers that I have. So where shall we start? I think I'm probably going to end up getting rid of quite a few of these as well. First of all, this needs to go. This is like 100 years old. This is the Soleil Maxi Bronzer Deep Bronze. Now, back in the day, I used to put this all over my face. Like, I used to probably look so ridiculous. I would have like my pale self, no fake tan, and then just bronze up my face with this. I didn't know what I was doing, but I loved it anyway. And then as time went on, I learned a little bit better, and I would like put it on my chest and, you know, do my cleavage with it and stuff. But either way, it served me well. I loved it. I've had it for a long time, but this stuff needs to go. Next up is this little Kiko bronzer. This is the Waterflower Magic Bronzer. It's in O2 Natural Sienna. It's lovely. This packaging is so cute, but it's just a bit too deep for me, so I never really reach for it. So I'm going to pass this on to a better home. I think there's people out there that would love this and get much better use out of it than me. As you can see, I've hardly touched it. It's still got the pattern on it and everything. It's really beautiful, just not the right shade for me, so I'm going to get rid of that one. Next up, this Give Me Lala Beauty Ibiza Bronzer. I got this in a subscription box, and I like it. I haven't used it as much as I should, but it's a really nice glowy bronzer, and I love a glowy bronzer, so I'm going to keep hold of that. Next up is this Rimmel Sun Shimmer Powder. I'm going to keep hold of this because this is obviously a brand new one, and it's in Sun Queen. It's lighter, but this will come in handy in the summer again when I want to like bronze up my chest or whatever, rather than my face. So yeah, I'm going to keep hold of this one. Then we have this Pixie by Petra bronzer, and I'm going to get rid of this one. I've only used it once or twice, but it's just not the right colour for me. And again, I think somebody else would have a really nice home for it. It's really beautiful. It feels really buttery and nice. So yeah, I'm going to pass that one along. Then I have this Kiko bronzer. I love this one. As you can see, I've hit pan on it. I really like Kiko's bronzers. I'm going to keep this one. This is a nice light bronzer for when I'm super pale again. It's also really nice just to run through the crease of your eye, so it could be like one of the only makeup items you take with you somewhere if you ever go anywhere ever again. Yeah, I love this. I love the formula. I'm going to keep using this one. Why not? I've got so far through it already, I might as well. Then we have this MAC Golden Bronze. I love this stuff, but I just never reach for it, probably because it's so messy. But it's just, I love a glowy bronze. Like, I love a glowy bronze, and this is a glowy bronze. Oh, I was going to say I'm going to get rid of it, but I'm keeping it, and I need to use it more. I forget about it. It's stunning. Yeah, I love this stuff. I'm going to keep hold of that one. Next up, a new one to my collection is this Essence Contour Duo palette, and I'm really enjoying it so far. I've used it a couple of times. I really like it. I don't have many contour products, I just use bronzers. I'm just basic like that. But this is nice and light and does a good job, and I don't know if I do it right, but I try my hardest. So yeah, so far so good. I'm really enjoying it. I'm definitely going to keep on using this. Then we have this Summer of Love Trio Baked Bronzer. I'm going to pass this along. It's just too dark for me. Again, it's got that nice golden glow in it, which I love. But these last forever, and there must be someone out there that can give it a better home than me, because I just never reach for it anymore. It's just a bit too warm for me as well, and too dark. But I love these. Like, they are so nice and they last forever. So yeah, going to give that to a better home. Next up we have this Colourpop bronzer, and it's really nice. Like, I love this bronzer. It's a nice light bronzer. I reach for it regularly. It works really well on my skin. It's just a really nice bronzer. Yeah, I'm keeping that. If you can get hold of these, I'd give them a go, because they are really nice. And how cute is that packaging? Next up is this MAC bronzer in the shade Honor Me. Now this looks really deep in the pan, but it actually isn't. Like, it's actually a really nice colour, and I'm going to keep this one. It actually isn't as old as it looks either. I've probably had this for about a year, and I've used it quite a bit. I really enjoy it, so I'm going to keep hold of that one for my more sun-kissed skin days. Next up is the Butter Bronzer by Physicians Formula. I love this bronzer. The smell of it, like, I'm sure you already know, it's so good. I love the colour. It always goes on my skin really nice. The packaging's super cute. Definitely keeping this in my collection. I really enjoy this bronzer. Then we have this Tarte palette, which I used to use all the time, and I forgot about it, and it's actually really nice. Like, it's a really nice palette, and I've just forgotten about it, really. Do I want to keep it though? Do I want to keep it? I don't know. Do you know what? I'm going to get rid of it. Where I'm umming and ahhing, what's the point? I'm going to get rid of it because I have other things here, so I don't need it. But it is lovely, and I don't want to get rid of it. But what's the point? I'd forgotten about it, so I might as well. Then we have this giant Kiko bronzer. Again, I love Kiko bronzers. This one is lovely. It's going to last you forever. Again, if you can get hold of one of these, I'd recommend it. I really want to get one of their marble ones. This is Ocean Feel Bronzer in 03 Perfect Tan. And yeah, I love it. I love the packaging. They're so good. I love this bronzer. Next up, we have the Fenty bronzer. This is in Private Island, and this by far is probably my favourite bronzer. I reach for it all the time. You can see how well loved it is. It was in my 2020 favourites. I absolutely adore this bronzer. I'm not far from hitting pan. It's the bronzer that I reach for most. I absolutely adore it. I couldn't recommend it anymore. It's just a perfect shade for me, perfect tone for me. It blends out really well. My makeup doesn't lift underneath it. It just smooths in nicely with the blushes that I'm using and my highlighters and my products underneath it. I just couldn't recommend it more. It's such a nice bronzer. Then another really good find this year is Beauty Bay have been smashing it with their own products, and I absolutely adore this one too. This is in Fawn, and I'm really glad with the shade I picked. It's a really good shade for me. It's not too deep, not too light. It's just a really nice bronzer. It goes on the skin lovely. Again, for the price, I just think they're absolutely brilliant. The packaging isn't anything to talk about, but who cares? It's a product that I really care about. As much as I am a sucker for packaging, these are still fantastic, and for £6, even better, they keep having sales on them at the minute. I really would recommend this bronzer. It's so lovely. Yeah, I love it. I'm so impressed with it. Then we have the Doll Beauty Gimme Sun bronzer. This is in light, and again, really like this bronzer. However, it's slightly just the wrong tone for me. It's not the end of the world. I can still get away with it. It's just, I don't know, is it a little... I'm really bad with knowing, like, tones of stuff. But it's a really good bronzer for me for everyday makeup. There's just something about it that just isn't quite the right tone on my skin, but nothing that anyone's going to even notice. And last but not least, we have the Huda Beauty Tantour in Fair. I love this stuff. Like, I really do. If you watched my declutter of foundations and concealers, you would have seen that I got rid of all of my concealer sticks that were darker, because I just don't use them anymore because I only use this now. It's the only bronzy cream product that I need. I don't need anything else, so it's the only one that I keep. I love the packaging of it. This stuff's lasted me ages. I use it all the time. Yeah, I would recommend that product. It's so nice. Okay, so in total we had 15 bronzing products and I'm keeping 10. So I don't think that's that bad. Like, I know loads of people that have a lot more in their collection than that. I'm pretty happy with the ones that I'm keeping. And I'm just going to see again, like I've been saying, how I'm going to get on over the next 6 months, how many of them I really reach for, and then I can reassess it then. But yeah, I'm happy with that. Okay everybody, that is absolutely everything. Please do let me know your thoughts down below. Have I kept any of your favourites? Have I thrown any of them away? Is there anything here that you don't like? Do you think I've made the right choices? Don't you? Like, let me know. I love chatting to you down there. I'd love to hear all your thoughts and opinions. But if you have made it to the end of this video, I love you and I appreciate you so much. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It would mean the absolute world. Give me a thumbs up, all that good stuff. Pop that notification bell on. You know what to do, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks so much guys. Bye.